Hey everyone, Jennifer Lee Chan here from NBC Sports Bay Area. My apologies, no video yesterday, but my power went out at my house for 5 hours, so I wasn't able to record anything. I wasn't able to watch the game. I saw highlights of the ending of Brock Purdy's buddy, Halliburton, making that game-winning shot. So, yeah, bummed I missed it live. I went for a walk. I could have gone to a bar, but I was trying to, I had to get up early in the morning. Anyways, enough about me. Had a interesting day, interesting week through, watching practice, watching, talking to the assistant coaches, positional coaches. So one of the things that I didn't get to talk about much is how Chris Foerster and Brian Fleury, the tight ends coach, Chris Foerster is the run game coordinator and the offensive line coach, how they both really like Luke Farrell, and they are over the moon about getting this really true blocking tight end into their system. Also, I think it makes a big difference that he's on a 3-year, $20.25 million contract. 3 years adds some consistency. So, whereas some of the guys that they've had in before, I know George Kittle referenced Levine Toilolo, Garrett Selleck, and Charlie Warner. Ross Dwelly is back on the team, but to get that true blocking tight end, they really feel like he was underused and underrated, really, with Jacksonville. They are making him adjust to the Kyle Shanahan scheme, which is different. They line up, they're more gap scheme. They line up on the line of scrimmage. He's going to be doing some different things coming to the 49ers. So this is what Chris Foerster said. I love him. He's one of the best run blocking tight ends I've seen in a long time. Obviously, Kittle is outstanding, but Luke, his tape was very, very impressive. He literally has an impact on defensive ends. When he blocks or hits a defensive end, there's movement. You see things with him that you don't see with a lot of tight ends. He's really cool that way. So, I mean, overwhelming. I mean, this is a guy who I think is very honest with his evaluations of players. And if he was like, all right, he's okay, he'd be good, he'll be great in the scheme, blah blah. He'd just be more politically correct about it. But he was very excited about Luke Farrell, and so was Brian Fleury. Now, Brian Fleury is the tight ends coach. He works every day with George Kittle. I posted a video of George Kittle doing the toe drag swag, practicing, and Brian Fleury is right there. So they work together every day. They work on blocking. And this is what Brian Fleury said of Luke Farrell. It's just a different skill set. He's being asked to do a lot more different things within our offense than what he was asked to do in Jacksonville. They were primarily a gap scheme team, and they played on the line of scrimmage, which is very different than what we are asking him to do. So also, Luke Farrell was a fifth-round pick. Fifth-round picks have been good for the 49ers. They just are. The one thing that's going to be challenging for Kyle Shanahan to figure out is when George is out, do they put Luke Farrell in? Do they have them both in? When you have George Kittle out, you want someone who can block and pass protect as well as he can. But can Luke Farrell also catch passes? Can he be involved in the offensive scheme so that when George Kittle is out and Luke Farrell is in, they don't automatically believe it's a run? So there is that challenge to kind of, manage him. And this whole story is up on NBC Sports Bay Area. And Chris Foerster added, he's like, it's that back and forth, how do you manage whether George goes in or whether Luke Farrell goes in? But he does think that Luke Farrell can be a down the field player. He just doesn't stretch the field, but he can move down the field, and he doesn't have rock hands, which is good. Who was it? Vance McDonald. I don't know how long y'all have been 49ers fans, but Vance McDonald, I mean, Thor, had the Thor hammer and everything. A lot of times would get passes thrown to him and just would not be able to bring him in. Open, great route, just everything but the catch. So that's made me think of that. So anyways, but Brian Fleury also believes that there is a high upside to Luke Farrell. So, Luke Farrell is kind of probably the least talked about addition to the 49ers 2025 roster than anyone else. And he was the biggest free agent signing, really one of the only free agent signings that the 49ers had. And I think it's a big deal that they've got him and how Kyle Shanahan's going to be able to use him, pass protect, run block as well, open things up for Christian McCaffrey, who looks very healthy, looks like he's very fast. Obviously, no one is in pads. They're all in just shorts and t-shirts running around out there. But this is what Brian Fleury said at the end. I was like, oh, this is interesting. Brian Fleury said the potential is there. He's going to grow. His skill set was so undervalued and underutilized that we're really excited to where he can go. That where we are really excited to where he can go, especially having him under more of a long-term contract than some of the other guys that we had. Good Lord, I cannot read. Especially having him under more of a long-term contract than some of the other guys on one-year deals. I think it will be unfair to judge him early on, but it will continue to evolve. I don't know why I'm having trouble reading. But anyways, they're very excited to have Luke Farrell. Other takeaways from OTA practice. George Kittle looks great. I know I posted a video of Trent Williams pancaking a guy. Demarcus Robinson, great chemistry with Brock Purdy already. Veteran guy, runs routes well. I think their timing is really good together. And it appears that they have instant chemistry. So I think, it's going to be a different receiving core than what we've seen in the past, but I think Brock Purdy's putting in the work. I think they're all putting in the work. Just a matter of kind of getting everybody on the same page, building the chemistry, because they haven't been able to do that before. It's a new group. So it's going to be a little bit interesting. There's going to be some growing pains. There's going to be some times where it looks like it's going to be good and it looks like it's going to be bad. Another guy who has picked up a lot of quick chemistry with Brock Purdy is Jordan Watkins, the rookie, number 17. He's 5'11", 196. He looks kind of bigger on the field. Obviously not as big as Juwan Jennings. He's the big guy out there. He did not practice on Wednesday, but he was in the weight room. So whatever he's dealing with, or maybe he just had a rest day, he appears to be fine. So definitely check out all the short videos that I've posted. There's a lot of content of practice. I'll post some more today, but hope you all are well. And thankfully I have power on today. So more coming this weekend. Talk to you guys soon.